What's that? Is this a beer? No, this is not a beer. It's a liquid death. What's a liquid death? Well, it's a can of mountain spring water. That doesn't sound like liquid death. It sounds like something that would be good for you. Yeah, you're right about that. I guess the name's kind of misleading. Or is it? Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to talk to you about the topic of microplastics and about my experience with that beverage called Liquid Death, which is sold in this box, if you'd like to pass it around. The dramatic name notwithstanding, the makers of that product market it as actually being quite a good thing. Yeah, because it has 100% mountain spring water in it, but more specifically because it's a can made out of metal and not plastic, which you would think would help to protect you from ingesting microplastics in the water that you're drinking in them. Hence that name, Liquid Death. As you can see on that box, the company's slogan is Death to Plastic. They make the can primarily out of aluminum, not plastic, which you would assume would help to guard against plastics leaching into the water, which is what happens with a lot of these plastic water bottles that are out there. But I have learned that things are not always what they seem with these plastic water bottle alternatives. There are 3 takeaways I want you to have from this speech today. First, microplastics are something that are everywhere. Second, microplastics most likely are bad for us. And third, it's actually kind of difficult, I've found, to protect yourself from microplastics, but there are things that you can try to be doing to accomplish that. Microplastics are everywhere, including in the water that we're drinking. So what are microplastics? Like the name implies, microplastics are extremely small pieces of plastic in the environment that are caused by the breakdown and the disposal of consumer products and industrial waste. One of the main culprits of microplastics in the water that we're drinking are plastic water bottles. There was a study done a number of years ago which tested the most popular brands of bottled water for microplastics. The study found that of the 11 brands of bottled water tested, 93% of them contained microplastics. On average, each liter of bottled water tested contained 325 pieces of microplastics. And in one instance, a bottle of Nestle Pure Life bottled water contained, get this, over 10,000 pieces of microplastics in the water in that bottle. All of this begs the question, what are all of these microplastics that we're consuming doing to our bodies? And the short answer is, scientists are not real sure. Scientists don't know currently what the effect is that microplastics are having on our bodies. Scientists suspect that microplastics may be linked to a number of serious health problems, though. Cancer, impaired immune system, inflammation throughout our bodies, and a lot of chronic diseases. And one of the reasons for that is that once we ingest microplastics, they can travel throughout our digestive system, and they can possibly even enter our bloodstream, which allows them to congregate in our vital organs throughout our body, our liver, our spleen, even potentially our brains. So we know these microplastics are everywhere in the water that we drink. We know they're most likely very harmful for us So the question is, what can we do to protect ourselves against them? And unfortunately, I've found it's a lot more difficult, especially with drinking water, to protect yourself from microplastics than I would hope it would be. I thought these liquid death cans were protecting me from microplastics, since they're made without plastics and it's a can of metal. But I was just reading the other day that these cans have a plastic liner on the inside that comes into contact with the liquid that can leach plastic into the water just like a plastic water bottle. So, short of throwing my hands up, what I'm currently of the opinion of is that the best way to guard against microplastics in drinking water is to get a really good home water filter system that can filter microplastics, because they make those, like a reverse osmosis system. Use that, and then when you need to take water places, get a glass container. Use glass. Whole Foods and other places sell glass water bottles. You just wash them in the dishwasher. But store your water in those, take your water places in the glass container, and to the extent it's possible, and I know it's not easy in this day and age, try to avoid plastic water bottles. Those are two good first steps to make an attempt to protect yourself from microplastics. Your homework, if you have a chance, is to Google the study that I referenced that was testing plastic water bottles for microplastics, because if you're anything like me, it'll probably be quite eye-opening for you. I really think it's a good idea for everybody in this room to start paying attention to the potential negative effects that microplastics may be having on us now, rather than waiting several years down the road when science knows for sure that these things